Good afternoon, Indian Hill Elementary students. It's Mrs. Pavlick, and I hope that you're all doing well. I thought I would lead you in some stories and stretching while we're doing some of our distance learning. So maybe you've been with me for Go Time Yoga, or you join me for After School Yoga Club, or maybe you're just curious about practicing a little bit of yoga and hearing the story today, Fredrick, which is one of my favorites. So let's start with a little yoga stretching. And you can be sitting on the floor, you can be on a mat, or just on the carpet. And if you can, sit cross-legged. You can sit crisscross applesauce with the bottoms of your feet together or your heels stacked. And let's just start by doing a little bit of stretching. So imagine you have a string on the top of your head, and I want you to pull it up so that you can feel your spine getting taller and taller. Take your imaginary scissors and let's cut that off. Your back kind of slumps down. Let's do it one more time. So grab that imaginary string in your head and pull yourself up, up, up. And now let's tie yourself off. And stretch your arms wide and open. Let's stretch our shoulders a little bit. We'll do turtleneck, gooseneck. So make a turtleneck and scrunch your shoulders up really high. And then exhale down. Let's do that one more time. Turtleneck, stretch up, scrunch your muscles. And then exhale, relax down. You might try a little breathing exercise while you're at home. That's nice and relaxing, makes you feel kind of calm. And maybe we can do it together right now. And we'll do flower breathing because it's the beginning of spring. Lots of things are starting to bloom outside. So pick up an imaginary flower, something that you like. Could be a daisy, geranium, tulip, rose, whatever you like. Pick that up and put it in your hand. Stack your palms. And then bring that up by your nose. And we're going to breathe in deeply through your nose, like you're smelling the flower. And then we're going to breathe out and sigh and smile because it smells so good. All right, let's try it. Ready? Makes for a nice deep breath. Let's do it again. Breathe in on your flower. Good job. One last time. Hold your flower up, breathe in really deeply. And exhale. Nice work. Let's do a little twist. So take one of your hands to your opposite knee. Hold on to your knee. Put your other hand behind you. And then press on your knee and stretch your spine. Take your eyes and try to look behind you over your shoulder. And stretch, stretch, stretch. And when you come back to the front, exhale out. Let's do the other side. Opposite hand to your knee. Other hand behind you. Push on your knee and twist your spine. Stretch, look behind your shoulder. Stretch your eyes way back there too, look behind you. And exhale, come back to the front. Good work. Let's take our arms up really high, out to the sides with your palms together. So stretch really tall, get your palms together. See if your ears on the inside of your arms. Good job. And when you think you're as tall as you can be, see if you can stretch up from your shoulders. Stretch up, up, up towards the ceiling. Good job. And bring your shoulders back down. Stretch up like you're going to reach your fingertips way up to the ceiling. You can even look up. And lower your shoulders back down. Good job. One more time. Stretch up, up, up. Look up between your hands. And shoulders down. Turn your palms front, and we're gonna feel like we're painting two big stripes on the wall in front of us. So we're kind of trying to keep our wrists back. So let's go and stretch. My hands are gonna look really big. They come. See if you can get your palms flat all the way down to the floor. Good job. Slide your hands back in. And we'll do one final side stretch, and then we'll get ready for our story. So take a palm and put it right down here outside of your hip. Take your other arm up straight next to your ear. And before we tip, again, we just practice it. Stretch your shoulder up and out. You can feel your ribs kind of stretch and open, and then tip over. See if you can peek up at the ceiling. Good job. Back up straight. One last stretch up. And we'll slide that hand down. Good work. Let's do the other side. Let's slide that hand up tall. Stretch your shoulder way up. Your ribs are way open. Tip to the side and look up at the ceiling. So you can even check and feel your ribs feel really open and stretched out on this side. Back up tall. One more stretch up. Slide your hand out. Good job. You might even want to kind of roll your shoulders out. All right. Fredrick. This is by Leo Leone. It's an old favorite of mine, and it was a Caldecott honor book. I know right before we had spring break, Mrs. Jones had a lot of the Caldecott books in the library out on display. So, Fredrick. All along the meadow where the cows grazed and the horses ran, there was an old stone wall. In that wall, not far from the barn and the granary, a chatty family of field mice had their home. But the farmers had moved away, the barn was abandoned, and the granary stood empty. And since winter was not far off, the little mice began to gather corn and nuts and wheat and straw. They all worked day and night. All except Fredrick. Can you find Fredrick? He's right over here. Fredrick, why don't you work? They asked. I do work, said Fredrick. I gather sun rays for the cold, dark winter days ahead. And when they saw Fredrick sitting there, staring at the meadow, they said, "And now, Fredrick?" "I gather colors," answered Fredrick simply, "for winter is gray." And once Fredrick seemed half asleep. "Are you dreaming, Fredrick?" they asked. But Fredrick said, "Oh no, I'm gathering words, for the winter days are long and many, and we'll run out of things to say." The winter days came, and when the first snow fell, the 5 little mice took to their hideout in the stones. In the beginning, there was lots to eat, and the mice told stories of foolish foxes and silly cats. They were a happy family. But little by little, they nibbled up most of the nuts and berries. The straw was gone, and corn with only a memory. It was cold in the wall, and no one felt like chatting. Then I remembered what Fredrick had said about sun rays and colors and words. What about your supplies, Fredrick? They asked. Close your eyes, said Fredrick as he climbed on a big stone. Now I send you the rays of the sun. Do you feel their golden glow? And as Fredrick spoke of the sun, the 4 little mice began to feel warmer. Was it Fredrick's voice? Was it magic? And how about the colors? Fredrick, they asked anxiously. Close your eyes again, Fredrick said, and when he told them of the blue periwinkles and the red poppies and the yellow wheat and the green leaves of the berry bush, they saw the colors as clearly as if they had been painted in their minds. And the words, Fredrick? Fredrick cleared his throat, waited a moment, and then, as if on stage, he said, "Who scatters snowflakes? Who melts the ice? Who spoils the weather? Who makes it nice? Who grows the 4-leaf clovers in June? Who dims the daylight? Who lights the moon? 4 little field mice who live in the sky. 4 little field mice like you and I. One is the springtime, who turns on the showers. Then comes the summer, who paints in the flowers. The fall mouse is next with walnuts and wheat. And winter is last with cold little feet. Aren't we lucky the seasons are 4? Think of a year with 1 less or 1 more." When Fredrick had finished, they all applauded. "But Fredrick," they said, "you are a poet." Fredrick blushed, took a bow, and said shyly, "Oh, my phone's ringing. I know it." And that's the end of Fredrick. It's a great book that's kind of a reminder of gifts that we can share and give each other to our friends and family. And it's kind of a hope for springtime, which just been started. It's been so good to see you. Join me next time for some stories and stretching. Bye.